Have you ever dreamed of more space in your home? Whether it's to accommodate a growing family, create that perfect work-from-home space, or simply expand your kitchen to make it more functional, the desire for extra room is something that nearly every homeowner can relate to. But what if I told you that you don't always need full planning permission to achieve that dream? In fact, one of the simplest and most cost-effective ways to create more living space is through a single-storey rear extension. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how you can make that happen under permitted development rights. Stick around because I'll walk you through the key guidelines, common mistakes to avoid, and some real-world examples of how an extension can completely transform your home. Hi, I'm Ella from Plandome, and today we're diving into the exciting world of extending a terraced house, one of the most popular types of homes in the UK. Whether you're looking to create a spacious kitchen, a family dining area, or an extra living room, we're going to explore how a single-storey rear extension can give you that much-needed space without the stress and costs of a full planning application. We'll talk about what you can and can't do under permitted development, the important factors you need to keep in mind, and how you can stay within the guidelines while still achieving your dream extension. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest property advice and planning tips. Let's get started. Before we get into the specifics of rear extensions, let's first explain what permitted development is. Permitted development, PD, is a set of planning rules that allow you to make certain changes to your property without the need for a full planning application. These rules were put in place by the government to simplify the planning process, helping homeowners make necessary improvements or alterations without the need for lengthy paperwork or council approval. PD rights cover a wide range of projects, including extensions, loft conversions, outbuildings, and more. For homeowners in terraced houses, one of the most popular and effective ways to add space is by extending the property with a single-storey rear extension. This option is often chosen because it doesn't require the hassle of a full planning application and can significantly increase the value of your home while still being relatively affordable. But, as we'll see, there are strict guidelines to follow when using these rights. You can't just build whatever you want. There are rules in place to make sure that any changes made are reasonable and considerate of your neighbours and the surrounding area. However, not every property qualifies. If your home is in a designated area like a conservation zone, a national park, or an area of outstanding natural beauty, AONB, your permitted development rights may be limited or even removed entirely. Similarly, if your property is a listed building, permitted development doesn't apply. You'll need full planning permission for any changes. That's why it's essential to check with your local planning authority or consult a professional if you're unsure. It's always a good idea to check with your local council or a planning professional before starting your project, especially if you're unsure whether your property falls under these restrictions. It's better to be safe than sorry. Even if your house does qualify for PD, we highly recommend applying for a Lawful Development Certificate LDC, which we'll dive into shortly. This affordable certificate confirms that your planned extension meets the necessary regulations and gives you peace of mind, knowing that your project is fully legal and compliant. Now, let's talk about the Lawful Development Certificate, or LDC. While it's not mandatory to apply for one, it's highly recommended. An LDC is issued by your local council and serves as official confirmation that your project complies with permitted development rules. Why is this important? Well, having an LDC in hand provides several benefits. For one, it acts as proof that your extension is legal, which can be a valuable asset when it comes time to sell your property. Prospective buyers will appreciate the assurance that all work done to the property was compliant with the relevant laws. Additionally, an LDC provides clarity in case there are any future disputes about the legality of the extension. The process of applying for an LDC is simple and affordable, making it a smart choice to avoid potential legal complications down the road. Next, Let's discuss a fundamental concept when it comes to permitted development: the original building. This is an important term to understand because it directly affects the measurements for your rear extension. The original building refers to the structure as it was originally built or as it stood on July 1st, 1948, if it was constructed before that date. Any modifications or extensions made to the property after this date are considered additions to the original building, not part of it. This is crucial because the depth of your rear extension under PD rules is measured from the rear wall of the original building. The original building. For example, if your property has an attached garage, the garage's construction date will determine whether it is considered part of the original building. If the garage was built before July 1948, it is considered part of the original structure, and you can measure your extension from the rear wall of the garage. However, if the garage was built after that date, you must measure from the rear wall of the main house. This is a common area where homeowners make mistakes, so we'll use clear visuals to show you exactly how to measure correctly and avoid any confusion. Now, let's dive into the key guidelines that apply to terraced houses when building a rear extension. If your terraced house qualifies for permitted development, there are several important restrictions you'll need to follow to ensure your project stays within the legal limits. For terraced houses, the rules around permitted development are a bit stricter due to the closer proximity to your neighbours. But don't worry, there's still plenty of potential for your extension. Here are the key guidelines to keep in mind. Maximum depth. The extension can't extend more than 3 meters from the rear wall of your original building. This ensures enough space between you and your neighbours. Height restrictions. The overall maximum height of the extension is 4 meters. The maximum eaves height, the height at the edge of the roof, must be no more than 3 meters if it's within 2 meters of your property boundary. This helps keep the extension in harmony with the surrounding R. Because terraced houses are typically surrounded by other properties on both sides, you'll need to pay extra attention to how your extension affects your neighbours. Privacy, sunlight, and overbearing issues can all come into play, so it's worth consulting a professional if you're unsure. When it comes to design, the style of roof you choose is another important factor. The rules for height apply regardless of the roof type, so you'll need to ensure the overall height stays within the permitted limits. Common roof styles for single-storey rear extensions include flat roofs, lean-to or mono-pitch roofs, gable roofs. While a flat roof is often the simplest option, a pitched or gable roof may blend better with the style of your existing property. Keep in mind that building regulations approval is still required to ensure the structure is safe. If you're considering a larger extension, things get a bit more complicated. Extensions up to 6 meters in depth for terraced houses require something called prior notification. This is a process where you notify your local planning authority about your intention to build. It's not a full planning application, but it does include a consultation with your neighbours. The prior notification process involves submitting a block plan showing your proposed extension, detailed drawings of the layout, and a statement on how the extension will impact your neighbours, particularly in terms of light and privacy. Your neighbours will have 21 days to raise objections, and if no issues arise, your extension can go ahead. Even though your project may fall under permitted development, you still need to comply with building regulations. These ensure that your extension is structurally sound, energy efficient, and safe for occupation. Building regulations cover critical aspects such as electrical installations, drainage, insulation, ventilation, and fire safety. Even if permitted development rights apply, these aspects need to be addressed. Failure to comply can lead to enforcement action or difficulty in obtaining the final certificate. To safeguard your project, we highly recommend applying for a Lawful Development Certificate (LDC) from your local council. This certificate confirms that your extension is compliant with permitted development rights, giving you peace of mind when it comes to legal and future resale considerations. Here are the most common mistakes homeowners make when planning their rear extensions under permitted development. Incorrect measurements, Always measure from the original building, not from post-1948 additions like garages that don't qualify. Exceeding the height limits. Make sure your extension doesn't exceed 4 meters in height and that the eaves height is within the limits. Ignoring local restrictions. Always check for conservation areas, listed buildings, or other restrictions that could affect your development. Let's take a look at a real-life example of how a smart extension can completely transform a traditional ground floor into a modern, versatile space. Original layout. The ground floor had a compact kitchen at the back, a separate dining room, and a front-facing lounge. While functional, it lacked flow and natural light. Proposed design. The kitchen is extended into a spacious kitchen dining area, perfect for family meals. Bifolding doors and a large rear window open the space to the garden, bringing in lots of natural light. The removal of the kitchen wall creates an open, connected layout ideal for cooking and entertaining. Plus, practical additions like a utility room, shower room, and extra storage improve the space without sacrificing style. This extension strikes the perfect balance between open-plan living and functional zones, making every square meter work hard. We came through how rear extensions can transform a home. In this case, added a 6-meter wide, 3-meter deep extension. This cost between £66,000 and £90,000, but increased their property value by £70,000, turning their cramped ground floor into a spacious, light-filled family hub. Here's another great example of a smart, functional extension. The original ground floor had a separate living area, a dining space, and a compact kitchen tucked at the back. While it had all the essentials, the layout felt a bit closed off, lacking the openness and flow that many homeowners are now seeking. Proposed design. The kitchen is extended into a spacious kitchen breakfast room, ideal for family meals. Roof lights and large windows bring in natural light, creating a bright, airy atmosphere. A new breakfast room and open layout enhance the connection between the kitchen, dining, and living areas. Practical additions. A clever storage area has been added for extra functionality, keeping the space organized without sacrificing style. Balanced design. This layout perfectly blends open-plan living with practical zones, optimizing space for cooking, dining, and relaxation. In this example, family added a 4-meter extension, incorporating a lounge and a shower room. The build cost was £2,400 per square metre and was approved through prior notification. The project also improved the home's energy efficiency by 18% thanks to better insulation. Thinking of extending? Share your plans in the comments or follow the inquiry link below to book your free 30-minute consultation. The first 20 consultations booked receive our exclusive Rear Extension Checklist 2025 PDF, your practical guide to seamless extensions. Fill out the form, select your ideal date, and get started effortlessly. If this video saved hours of research, please like, subscribe, and explore our comprehensive playlist including planning advice, HMO conversions, working with listed buildings, and much more. I'm Ella from Plandome. Thanks for watching. Happy extending.